Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee with the Pastor. I'm Pastor John Woodin, and this is a ministry of Hollywood Faith Christian Center in beautiful Hollywood, Florida. We welcome you. This morning we started Galatians chapter 2, and I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me, and that the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. And I do not set aside the grace of God, for it is righteousness comes through the law, then Christ died in vain. So Paul is telling us, what do I do? He says, I've been crucified with Christ. I don't live anymore. I live for him, but he lives through me. And in Galatians, it's an interesting book because Paul is writing, it's kind of slapping him around a little bit, because he said, you're off track. And so he's writing to the church at Galatia, and he's saying, he actually calls them, "O foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you? Who has taught you these wrong doctrines?" And so he's trying to get their attention, but in the meantime, he's given us this tidbit of, I've been crucified with Christ. And we say, well, Paul, how do you continue that crucified body? How do you do that? And he says in 1 Corinthians 15, I die daily. Every day I have to make a choice. Every day we get to make choices on what we will do and what we will say and where we will go for Jesus. We can make choices in these things. And he's saying, but I choose to die every day. I have to crucify the flesh. Romans 4 says, therefore it is faith that might be according to grace, so that the promise might be sure to all the seed, not only to those who are of the law, but also to those of the faith of Abraham, who is the father of all. Now, it is written, he said, in the presence of him who believed, God gave life to the dead and calls those things which did not exist as though they did. Now here is he speaking to Abraham, nearly 100 years old, that he's going to have a baby with a 90-year-old wife. Now, if you don't have faith, if you don't believe in God, you can't accept that. That is just in the natural. You just go, that's crazy. That's not going to happen. But Abraham accepted that because he believed that God was able to do the things that he said he was going to do, regardless of the natural circumstances, regardless of what I see, and being fully convinced that what he had promised, he was able to perform. Wow. No matter what the situation is, no matter what my body looks like, no matter what, if God says it's going to happen, it will happen. God bless you guys. See you again next time.